the part of you that's drifting over me. And when I wake you up, I remember it. And Dublin in a rainstorm, sitting in the long grass in summer.
Right, it was a wet one last night. Well, this is July 19th, day 130. It's 6:07. Here's the deal. 14 miles up, as you know, there's a hostel. But the thing is, a mile past that hostel, there is a shelter. Now past that shelter, you're just going up Mount Musalaki. That's just another hike. That's like no man's land. To say that it's either 14, 15, or nothing at all. Okay? So, the only thing that would stop me the only thing that would make me not stop at this hostel is if there was a budgeting issue. Because there's no need to really stay there. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that there is a shelter a mile out, so because I'm not really tripping, what I'm gonna do, and I guess I really shouldn't say that, just just lay it out there. But I've talked to some people and they said they had a good experience. I'm gonna show you the bunkhouse. We'll see how I feel, because at the end of the day, I sleep better in my tent. And if the bunkhouse is shoddy, hey, there's just no sense in me sticking around. But there's no reason why I can't get everything I need done and then hike out a mile. It's really easy, honestly. And I prefer to be in that solitary environment, because I know what's going to go down tomorrow, because Musalaki is a big mountain. So that being said, I'm only doing like 15. That's the max I can do, knowing what's coming next. So I figure it's 6 o'clock. I know this terrain. I should be at that hostel by 12. I gotta dry everything because everything's wet. Not complaining, just saying. I'm gonna use their facilities, take a shower, get dry, do some movies or do some video editing, and then see what's up with the eating situation. Eat, and then reassess. See what's up. I may just end up hiking out and just camping somewhere. And honestly, to be truthful, I don't have to just do a mile to that shelter. I can just keep on pushing. So we'll just wait and see what happens. But it's cloudy. Everything I'm touching is soaking wet. There's dew everywhere. But aside from that, it's a good day. Playing around with these bushes. Yeah, so let's get cracking out here. By the way, as I said, I do stand corrected. This is the second shelter where there was supposed to be water, where there isn't any. So it's like I said before, the drought, however you want to call it, there's just a water shortage across the board. And it adds a layer of anxiety to your hike that you really don't need, People were collecting rainwater as it fell off their tarps just to have something to drink and cook with. And that's saying something out here. These rock corridors ascending straight up is so characteristic of New Hampshire. Yeah. Now we're moving into the realm of cairns, and that'll be these little pyramid stacked rocks, because you can't see blazes anymore. When everything is rock and marble and white, you need to be able to see these cairns at a glance from a distance. So that is another representation of a blaze. When you see that, that's just marking your territory. Go this way. You see how small that one is in comparison to that one? At the end of the day, you just have to look for an anomaly in the rock. And what it will appear to be is just, like I said, just a pyramid or or a small little bundle of rocks stacked. And you just go with that, just eyeballing the whole way. There's your cairn, and there's your slippery, wet rock. Check this out. Tell me that's not a little mini mountain. Whew. Reminds me of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Anyway, we gotta go up it. To be clear, I'm not saying you won't see white marks, the white blazes, but they're gonna be used in tandem with the cairns, like right there. And then you look up on a tree right there. Two things. Number one, if budgeting is an issue, I would say you'd be better served to eat your money than to use that money to stay in a hotel for like luxury. Because you could pitch a tent anywhere. You could stay in any shelter. And let's face it, shelters and lean-tos and things of that nature are a given on the trail. That's just the number one. Number two, although you may feel that your biggest deprivation out here is hunger, you'll feel like you're starving, that's not your biggest threat. Your biggest threat is rest. Because basically, when you're going at it and you're hiking and you don't get enough rest, you're gonna build a deficit. And that deficit is accumulative until after a while exhaustion turns to your body not being able to heal fast enough, which turns to pain. And when you amplify exhaustion and pain, you get fatigue. And when you continue to push yourself through exhaustion and fatigue, or through pain and fatigue, what happens is now the mental faculties come online and you start to get depressed. That's why the trail is more mental than physical. Because if you don't know the difference between feeding a hunger and resting to satiate this buildup before it hits a crescendo and makes you depressed while you're in your pain, then you can't know which decision to make. You know, so honestly, so what are you saying? I'm saying still feed your hunger, because basically if the average room is $79 and you can get a pizza for $25, then obviously your money's gonna go further if you eat it as opposed to spending it on luxury. Problem is, we don't have the discipline in the moment with hiker brain, you know what I'm saying? When all your blood is elsewhere, to know when to stop, to know when to rest, to know when to pull over and take a zero. So we become our own saboteur in a manner of speaking. Because, like, for example, I was texting with a hiker that's depressed right now because they said, I've been out here 2 months and I've only gone 400 miles. And I'm thinking, well, and their attitude is, I've been hiking with this person, that person. I called my family out, I hiked with them. It seems like all I'm doing is building up distractions to keep me from hiking the trail. Now, that's her own psyche. She's in her own head. That's fine. And that may be the case. But you're out here. That's my thing. There is a healing out here. If that's what it takes to get you out here, you're not going to go home the same person. So don't get caught up on the time and the measure and this, that, and the other. I'm doing a documentary. I got to tell you exactly where I am in each moment of time. But it's not necessary. You know? I mean, who's counting? Just get out here in paradise and just suck it up. Out here. In a good way. Suck it up. The beauty, as well as the bane in New Hampshire, is all above tree line. For real. You know, the complete saying is Mother Nature, Father Earth, where the earth is like unto a seed, and we all know men carry the seed, whereas Mother Nature, in trying to square that with an egg, is more of the nurturing process, the ecosystem, the incubator, you know, the womb, I guess. And so when you're trying to square that with the Trinity, because you can't have creation without the third, when you look at the Mother Nature and Father Earth, the third is what comes from it. You know what I'm saying? The son, the daughter, the vegetation, everything that comes from the working together, the harmonization of Mother Nature and Father Earth working together as one out here. And by the way, When I speak of Mother Nature, that includes the elements as well. Right here. And I say that to say this. When you're out here in nature, you know, walking on Father Earth through Mother Nature, there is, and when I speak about the healing and the medicine, I'm talking about on a esoteric level, a spiritual level, where there is a healing that takes place in syncing your vibration with that which is real, which is natural, which came first. Because it's too easy to be overtaken by appearances when we live in the city. Because everything we do, we're being judged or guided. When the light turns red, you go. When you read this sign, you cross the street, you go this way. When you're living in the city, when you're living in the real world, every 100% of the time, you are moved by what's exactly in front of you. Because what's in front of you is the program. Okay? Turn right, turn left, go here at this time. Whereas the Bible says clearly, do not be moved by the things that appear. You see what I'm saying? You have to see under it. And that's what understanding is. It's getting to the roots. It's not looking at the tree, but it's understanding the nature of the roots, the philosophy that lies under it. You know, St. Paul says, and so I am not moved by the things which do appear, but only by my own understanding. And Jesus says the same thing in the sense that be in the world, but not of it. But it's hard to do that when you're living in a built-up society, a civilized society where everybody must fall in line. And that includes the education system. So to have a balance just to know who you are in your own center, you have to come out here. Because in a sense, when you go to work, you lose yourself. You go on automatic pilot and you do whatever your job requirement tells you to do. You don't have a personal thoughts. You can't get that, you know, until you go home. And even when you get home, you have to decompress and get all that out of you. And if you're bringing stress from work home, if you're getting a text, or if you're still pissed about what the manager said, or what's on the docket for tomorrow, how much time do you spend in your own self, you know? But when you're out here, and here's the funny part, you get out here, and I'm one of them, your first complaint is, I can't get out of my head. Every time I'm hiking, I need music because I just keep going in my head, turning around. Well, that's the sweet spot. You've been out of your head for so long, you know, you feel uncomfortable when you're out here in the woods, and all you got is your own thoughts and yourself. Anyway, it's ironic. But once you get past it, there is a stillness that you will covet. All right, kind of lost out here. Where it says Jeffers Brook Shelter, that's the shelter that's 1 mile away from the road. The hostel, actually, the intersection. So we got like a little bit over 12 miles left out here. Back in the shelter, some southbounders were celebrating breaking 400 miles coming from Maine. Meanwhile, the northbounders are like, oh, I guess we're going to break 300 tomorrow, or at least I am. So right now, I'm under 300 miles to Maine. That's like nothing out here. And to be clear, when I say Maine, I'm talking about the terminus. We're under 300 miles to Mount Katahdin, the end of the Appalachian Trail in Maine. Yeah, that sounds a lot better out there. You know, the funny part about it is, you know how when you go to Springer Mountain and you continue on with the Appalachian Trail, it's not like that with Mount Katahdin. So basically, you just have to add on 5 miles after everything's done, because you got to hike up Mount Katahdin and then do an about face and do 5 miles right back down. And that 5 miles don't count for anything except for getting you closer to the parking lot so you can go home. So at the end of the day, though, you're actually just if you're going north, you may as well just, or even south, I guess, you got to stamp an extra 5 miles on it because you're going up and back as opposed to going straight through in Georgia. And these kind of conversations are comforting because you know you're getting close when you're talking about Katahdin and Maine and the terminus and things of that nature. So, woohoo! And by the way, I told you, my first hike was 92. I started in Maine. 30 years later, these southbounders are explaining a process that I never heard of. Remember how I told you how you got to register and they give you cards, and well, it's a whole different world now, you know? So I don't know what I'm going to get into, because it's not like, for example, in 2015, you just stayed in the shelter. You hiked in, you stayed in the shelter. After the shelter, you hike up the mountain, you come back. Well, the southbounders are saying they got rid of the shelter. Like, you cannot stay in that park unless you pay. Like, you got to know where to go and this, that, and the other. So I'm pretty much going to be lost when I get there trying to figure out what's what. And apparently there's somebody roving around, you know, giving out cards and taking information. So I'm going to be like, okay, what's going on? You know what I mean? But it's weird it took them that long, 30 years, to change an age-old process, you know? But at least this time you get something in your hands, some kind of token, a piece of memorabilia to take with you that, you know, like with these cards that say Georgia to Maine or whatever, that, or they imply it, that they give you in Georgia. At least here at Katahdin, when you get there, you may not know, you know, the number you are from Georgia, but you'll get something saying, yeah, this guy did hike Mount Katahdin. And then you just got to put a little mosaic together, you know, on your own. All right, just trying to clear up the fog, the mist, the clouds. You know, if you got it in you to hike the AT, let me just tell you, the first time you hike the AT is going to be in your head. The second time is going to be on paper when you're writing down the plan and getting everything in motion, right? And the third time is when you come out here and put foot to trail, and that's when life is going to hike it with you. That's where the weather becomes a factor. The pain becomes a factor. The people that you're hiking with becomes a factor. And everything else that you did not see from A to Z becomes a factor, you know? Now, it's good that you have the plan. It's good that you have the hope, because you've already done it in your head and you can take that euphoria with you. But at the end of the day, it's going to be your heart. Do you have the heart to complete this? Okay? Because that's the only constant. Everything that you planned and everything that you thought of can change. All right? And even though you got this grand vision in your head, the pain may erase all that. Or one bad experience with another hiker may erase all that. You hike the trail on what's in your heart. You know, I'm talking as far as intestinal fortitude and willpower now. Granted, I did say that you hike the trail on your gut, but that's talking about power. That's talking about what you eat and ingest and water and blah, blah, blah. But it's going to be your heart that's going to get you through it. Your will to get through it. Out here. I don't know if you can hear it, but off in the distance, it sounds like a raging river. Listen. So I was going to get my water. That was supposed to be the nearest water source there. But because it rained as it did, and you know how I told you about how the volume of water gets so great when it rains that it just it's almost hard to filter, because it's just so much going in it right now. It's not necessarily the cleanest. So what I'm going to do is forego that raging river and go here. This water source probably wasn't here yesterday, but it is moving. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take my water here. That way I don't have to worry about putting bleach in that and this, that, and the other. It'll take me a little longer to extract this, but in my opinion, this is safer. So I'm going to get my water from here, out here. See how much water that is in comparison to what I did? Yeah. I see blue skies. It's all downhill from here. Metaphorically speaking. I'm 5 miles in. So that would put me like at 9 miles out. I just passed a southbounder and I was pumping him for intelligence about this hostel, just to, you know, iron it down. I asked him, was he able to get good sleep? Was the bunkhouse quiet? He said it was okay. I asked him about the shuttles to confirm that, number one, do they give you a shuttle for dinner? And is the place reputable that they take you to? He agreed on both points. I said, was it an enjoyable experience overall? He said yes. But what I was concerned about as well was the restaurant that moved, that used to be almost up the street from the hostel. As you recall, several days ago, or yesterday actually, I talked to two hikers that said the restaurant moved and it's 0.3 from this road that I'm coming to now. I asked him to confirm or deny that, and he said he heard about it, but he forgot to actually go. So that's what I'm looking at. I figure, I mean, it's 0.3. I can investigate. I'll try to look on the map and see if it's there. My attitude is that shuttle that the shelter does is at 5 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock, right? It's 10:30 right now. I'm not going to starve until they decide to take you to dinner. So my attitude is when I hit the street, I'm going to look for a place to have lunch. If it's there, I'll have lunch. If not, I'll just push on to the hostel, and then once I get there, find something to eat. Do what I can from there. But yeah. Yep, that's it. It just dawned on me, there was a hiker, southbounder. She was with her parents. She ate at that restaurant yesterday, and she told me that they're only open Thursday through Sunday, so basically they're closed today. I knew it was there, but they didn't. The first people didn't tell me the hours. Second person did. It just just came to me. It's 10:58 right now anyway. I'm too early. I'm just gonna push through out here. Anyway, that would be the road. Right now I'm 4.9, we'll just say 5 miles from the hostel. It's 11 o'clock, or close enough. Let's get there. I can hear the road, so I know I'm close, but this 14.8, it took longer than it should have. But because I'm in New Hampshire, I understand. It's 1:15, 1:12. At the end of the day, that's the thing about these last two states, even Vermont. But New Hampshire and Maine, they have a way of humbling you, because you may have been able to do 20s in New York and Mass, but when you're looking at this map, it's just giving you numbers, you know, and you're like, I can do this, that's no big deal. And then you start your hike and you realize, wow. For example, the hardest mountain I climbed was yesterday, and that was a mile high getting to that fire tower. And you're talking 127 days of conditioning, and I felt that mountain. It didn't stop me, but boy, did I respect it. So that's the thing about New Hampshire and Maine. You got to put away everything you think you know, or put away your plans of doing 20s and blah, 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 and just hike your hike. That's why I wanted to hit New Hampshire by July 17th, so I'll have an idea, an inkling as to how long it will take me to complete the trail. Because I knew for certain that it's not going to go as fast as I think it would, and I'll be stutter stepping getting started. What do you mean? I could have done more than 12 yesterday, but the rain stopped me. But still, it was a good hike. Today, I'm only doing this 15 because I know what lies ahead as far as Moosilauke and then the Whites. So that's another, in my opinion, short day. And let's not forget, I only did 4 miles into Andover, New Hampshire. And it's like I said, everything has a number. Everything is quantifiable. And I'm doing the math. I'm just not willy-nilly just walking through the woods. So I just want you to know, I'm keeping the measure. So that's where we are right now. This road should be coming up soon. I'm going to take a shower. I got to dry my stuff because everything's wet. This pack is heavy now because everything's wet, which is another reason why I'm good as far as going any further. And that's it. Maybe I can cut a movie. I'll keep you abreast out here. This is the first time I didn't have to wear a hairnet coming through this corridor, these two corridors to this hostel. But it did rain yesterday, and I was pretty much hiking in mist. It makes the air too heavy for the insects to navigate in. Okay, so this is the road. We're just gonna walk to the hostel out here. I'm en route, walking to the hostel. It's not that far. By the way, it's 1:18. Cell reception sucks, and it's gonna continue to do so in New Hampshire and Maine. You just gotta plan your phone calls when you're on the mountaintops and stuff like that, because even when you're sitting in the middle of a hostel, you just won't get reception. And so if you want to order something, like say dine in or order in, you're gonna have to use their landlines. Yeah. I don't know if I gave you the timestamp or not. It's 1:20. This particular hostel has been a staple on the trail for as long as living memory. Stayed at it in 2005, 2015, and now. And well, I say stayed at it, I mean, you know, visited and whatnot. I know the caretaker that I knew that used to run this place passed away. That's how old this hostel is. Shout out to Fat Chap in memory of. It's very rustic. I don't even recall the kitchen. It seems like everything is outside. Outside showers, the whole nine. Property looks like it's well manicured, as you can see. All right. Notice there's no kitchen. Just a microwave, toaster oven, refrigerator. This is why you don't get that like complimentary breakfast they talk about. The common area is the only area. That's the TV. It's pretty much it. And everything else is, you know, add-on, so to speak. Everything is outside. This is the shower. These are the washers and dryers. And that's pretty much it. You feel like you're outdoors the whole time. You don't get that hostile experience. Even the water's outside as far as the washing your stuff. And I came right through the front doors. There was no one there to greet me. It's like a serve yourself, you know. Hey, what's up? All right, my tent is dry. My clothes are washing. I'm refreshed. I just took a shower. This is my bunk. Basically, what put the nail in the coffin as me staying is simply, if I'm going to pay $4 to wash clothes and another $4 to take a shower, that's a third of what it would cost to stay here. And they don't do the dinner shuttle until 5 o'clock, which is genius if you ask me, because they're going to be like, oh, you're going to hang out. And then once you get that full stomach and then lights go, you know, it starts to get dark, we know you're going to want a bunk. So like I said, it's pretty ingenious. So just for the waiting aspect of it, I just went on ahead and got a bunk. I'm washing everything. I'm going through everything. I really don't have too much personal, maintenance, gear maintenance, because this pack is not falling apart like the last one was. I got the opportunity to get a bunk right next to the power cord, so I'm going to charge and do all those things, and that's where I'm at right now. When I'm done charging, I'm going to go downstairs and eat, and then just wait for them to, eat, do video editing, hang out, drink water, and wait for them to decide what they're going to do. Wait for the shuttle. Right now it's 2:21, so the day's young. Just capitalizing on rest out here. All right. It's 4:23. I'm actually closing this video out because I'm doing movies. I can make two if I finish this. At 5 o'clock, they're going to do the shuttle. That's going to take you to a gas station where you can order pizza. I ordered 2 pizzas and a salad because since they don't do anything for breakfast in the morning, I'm sandbagging so I can have something to eat for breakfast tomorrow if I don't finish it all tonight. I'm starving and I have a good appetite, so that's that. Incidentally, what I didn't tell you is even the restrooms are outside, literally. It's not a porta potty, but it is porcelain, but you're still outside. So that's the thing. This is a big property. There's no reason why they can't have people, give you the experience of an inside, you know what I'm saying, thing. But it's almost like they want to keep hikers at administrative distance, yet the prices that they're paying, that you're paying, is it just doesn't seem comparable. They do have a porta potty over there, but this is the toilet here. All right, and it's all outdoors. If it's raining, yeah, you're gonna get rained on. If you're taking your clothes out of the because I've done this, you take your clothes out the wash, as soon as they hit the dirt, there you go. It's like, dope, now you got to wash your clothes over again. It's just, all these years you would think they would have found a way to make this a little bit more hiker friendly, and that's why, believe it or not, that's pretty much why nobody really stays here, because you really don't feel that. And it's funny, it's called Hikers Welcome. You don't feel very welcome here. Counting myself, nobody got the tour. I'm walking around here looking stupid, and so you got to ask people what's what, and then the tour, the people that run the place will come out if they want to. I don't know. It sounds like I'm complaining. All I'm saying is, with the shelter being right there, you really don't have to stay, because you won't feel like there's nothing calling you here. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're literally still outdoors. In 2015, they had day hikers here, okay? And so they would take it upon themselves to shuttle hikers where they can go get some food and come back. So we didn't feel like we were obligated to stay. But the fact that they pushed the shuttle till 5 o'clock, they're literally forcing your hand to stay. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just the way it is. It's business, I suppose. But anyway, I'm here, and like I told you before, I didn't want to stay, but when you're, after they nickel and dime you to death to shower and all this other stuff, you may as well just go ahead and just pay it. If I'm lucky, there won't be a lot of people here, and I can go to bed pretty, at a nice, decent hour, and it won't be a lot of noise, and I can hike out. It is convenient. The fact that you can walk here 0.2 miles, but their resupply is crap. There's nothing here. You got some Pop-Tarts and something else. I mean, what they can, the potential that they have here is always off the chain, but they're not doing nothing with it. And it seems like the people that are running it are just transient. They're just collecting a check or whatever. They're just here, but they're not doing anything. I know it sounds negative, but I mean, it's what's in my heart. You feel me? All right, I'm gonna cut this video, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Today is July 19th. It's day 130. It's a good day. I only did 15, but trust me, I feel it. All right, out here. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
It's a call-in-one or something?
Pardon me?
It's just a call-in one with initials on?
Yeah, pretty much everything. You just flip it over and tell them what you want.